Hey, Sagittarius, Intuitive Soul Coach here with your February 2024 love reading. Welcome back to my channel if you are returning, and welcome if you are new. These are general readings. Please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Sag, welcome. Now, you do have playfulness showing up here right off the bat. So there could be a sense of seriousness that has taken over. Some of you really could benefit at this time from connecting with people who make you laugh. Yeah, because look at that. You're starting off with the Eight of Cups, and she's been crying. She's sad here. There is an energy of cheerfulness or needing to feel a little bit more joy in your life. Yeah, Nine of Swords crossing the path. That's why playfulness is coming in strong for you, Sag, because it's time to laugh. It's time to play. It's time to maybe rejoin life again, because some of you have been going through the thick of things. All right, what is going on? Yep, you have the Lovers showing up. So some of you are working on letting go of someone in your life. Because you have here, you have released your ex at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so some of you may have been forced to walk away from a situation. Some of you, this could have happened 5 years ago and you're still healing from. But it says the time has come to clear your energy. Now, this is showing up at the bottom of the deck. So some of you are not even aware, but it looks like you are aware that someone is affecting you. That's from your past, okay? And someone that you thought was going to be your forever. It could have been the person that you were really seeking. But yeah, you could have even been married to this person, or you were planning of having a future together. Maybe you did live together, or you shared a house together. But let's dive further in here. This playfulness is coming in saying, to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So for those of you that are in a relationship currently, however, the Eight of Cups says you may be seriously questioning that, it's important for you to have fun, to play. And maybe that could heal, or that could help some of the stress and anxiety going on between you and another person, if another person is involved here. Next, you have pay attention to the red flags, and maybe that's why some of you are feeling a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of stress here, maybe even the need to reach out, the need to connect. This could be connecting to a therapist, a professional, a healer, a trusted friend, or a family member, Sag. So when this pay attention to the red flag shows up, the signs are cautioning you. But regardless, sometimes the red flags can be right in our eyeballs. They can be right there, but we don't want to see them because our heart is invested so fully into a situation. However, when you know, you know. And sometimes it's that cold splash of water in your face that really wakes you up and says, what am I doing? Why am I still tossing and turning over this person? Why am I still staying awake hoping for a different result? With the Eight of Cups showing up here, the Eight of Cups is always my eat, pray, love card. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the situation has come to, a tower moment. It doesn't mean, for some of you it could have, but it doesn't mean things have got so bad that you have to leave a situation. But I am feeling that there's something deep within you that causes anxiety or depression. There's something deep within the situation that is causing you to feel a lot of feelings about this energy, and you want to move towards more happiness, right? That's why playfulness is the first card out here. And just like in the book Eat, Pray, Love, or the movie, if you've seen it, with Julia Roberts, she does have a life. She has a marriage, and she has a good job, and she has, the beautiful home, and she makes the money, and it looks on paper like it would be the perfect life, right? But deep down, she knows that that's not what makes her happy, and she needs a change. And therefore, she calls a divorce into play, and she decides to take some leave from her job and go travel the world and find that that happiness, and not saying that happiness is external by any means. It's you doing whatever you need to do to find that happiness within you. And even if that's traveling, even if that's going through a divorce, even if that is moving, relocating, or sharing your feelings with someone to get something off your chest, to see if there is any sort of reconciliation possible, you need to do you, Sagittarius. And I just feel some of you are sitting in this Eight of Cups and you're, maybe you don't want to be. It's hard, but like Glennon Doyle says, we can do hard things. That's what we are born to do here on Earth. Earth is one of the most challenging, if not the most challenging planets to come to, right? And it's one of the most difficult places to learn some hardcore lessons. How do we learn? Through pain, through transformation, through doing the things that they are difficult and they are transformational. But most of the time we look back and we say, wow, I'm stronger because I went through that situation. I am more evolved because I went through that situation. And I feel like that's what you're searching for. And it says, make the effort. Make the effort, because you start off, again, 8, you have the 8 here, and 8s are about effort. They're about, finances, as well as maybe power, strength, materialism, control, authority. And I feel like you have these skills, you possess them, even though you may feel like you don't at times. Maybe some of you have stayed in a situation because of money, or you stayed tied to a connection due to maybe power plays, or again, a sense of control. I have to stay here because out there it's too scary, whatever it may be for you. Or even if you're single, maybe you're thinking about relocating and moving to a new place, but the thought scares you a little bit, but it's something that you really need, and you know that it's time for you to do. Because it says great love is worth taking the steps that you're guided to take. And what does the 8 of Cups do? Yeah, they're feeling quite emotional, right? They're definitely feeling emotional, but those emotions are what is motivating them to walk towards their 9 of Cups. So when you look at it like the perspective of what am I walking towards versus what am I leaving behind, it's going to really help you see things more clearly instead of hanging on to attachments of the past. Do you see the difference there? When we focus on what we're walking towards versus what we're leaving behind, sometimes when we turn our back and we keep looking behind us, it can hold us in that place of stagnancy for longer. And it can really cause sometimes that forward movement to be stuck, right? It can cause us to stay in that in between. But the 8 of Cups is a spiritual path, right? It's a spiritual quest. It is more meaning. So don't ignore the call to go in a new direction when it comes to matters of the heart. And it's going to be worth it, right? Worth waiting for here. Divine timing is at work in your love life. So crossing the energy here in the month of February is the 9 of Swords. So the 9 of Swords can be sleepless nights, it can be anxiety, it can be obsessiveness, it can be nightmares, it can even be the card of despair, right? Despair, this will never work, or I'm such a failure, this marriage or this rejection feels like a failure, I don't feel good enough. You could be losing sleep over a situation, but the good news is I feel like this is the darkest before the dawn. Basically, this is you've gone through the thick of things, and the Swords energy is mental. So yes, you have a combination of emotional and mental going on here, but 9s represent completions. You're completing a cycle of mental confusion. And that's basically what it is. The 9 of Swords is telling ourselves something that was painful over and over and over. Telling yourself, this hurts, this hurts, this hurts. I have to stay stuck, or I am stuck because I'm focusing on the abandonment. I'm focusing on the letdown, what I don't have. But like I said earlier, if we start to focus on what we are walking towards, that brings in that new beginning. Because again, 9s are endings bringing in new beginnings. They're about accomplishment here, because then we get to that 10 of Swords where we can gracefully step into that new beginning. Okay, even if there has been some sort of betrayal, heartbreak, or letdown, let those tears flow. Cry if you need to, Sag. Allow yourself to have a crappy day or a crappy week. because after all, we're having a human experience and that's part of it. Okay, we can't always be cheery and rainbow and love and light. That's just not how things work. And it's important for you to acknowledge your feelings, but not to sit in them for too long, because if you sit in them for too long, it creates depression, it creates dis-ease, it creates anxiety, it creates fears that sometimes we feel like we're locked in and we can't get out of. If that's the case, please talk to someone. Please seek some sort of help or guidance to get an additional hand or support to pull you up out of this, because your life is worth living here. What's below you? The Page of Pentacles. It could be children. Some of you may have had children with someone, or maybe some of you have always dreamed about the family dynamic with maybe the cottage or the home in the woods with the tire swing and the dog and the garden and the children, right? For others of you, this could be some sort of communication. Pages can represent children. They can represent communication, but it's about planting the seeds to a new future in this earthly, tangible world. Okay, you can see that this little guy here is planting this tree, planting some new seeds. And the seeds are family or a home or something here that has always been a childhood dream of yours, Sag. And I feel in the recent past, Four of Wands, this is about celebratory energy. It is about 1111, could be soulmate, twin flame. This is about even vacationing, wedding, holidays. But I feel like something here, it's like you should have been happy, but you weren't happy. Okay, or maybe there was some sort of anniversary and you're thinking, am I happy? Or for some of you, if you've already exited a relationship, there could have been a celebratory event or moment that came up in the recent past, and maybe that's what left you feeling some anxiety here. This could even be you thinking of a lost loved one. Okay, if this is not relationship for you and you are seeking to move towards higher level of love, but you're still stuck in some sort of a grief, I feel like you are calling in reciprocity. I mean, you have the Six of Cups showing up here. It is in the reverse here, but it has the potential to really call in that equal give and take. So for those of you that were dealing with a situation, that's why the red flags are here. Maybe someone is giving more than they were receiving, or vice versa. Maybe someone was always in a little bit of a power play where they were one-upping or felt like you had to one-up them. I just heard sibling as well. Some of you may have been dealing with a sibling who, it's like they kept judging you, or you were judging each other, or it just felt like there were restrictions. This could be between mother and child as well. But the Six of Pentacles is about not resisting the help. And that could be why sometimes we get stuck in that Nine of Swords, because we resist help. We don't ask for it. We have this energy of stubbornness, of independence, where we have to do it alone. Or maybe some of us don't even have people that we can ask, right? Or it feels that way. And then we get stuck in that victim mentality. Woe is me. Everything's happening to me. I'm cursed, right? We've all been there where we start to throw ourselves a little bit of a pity party, and, you know, you can get out of that, and you can bring more balance and more love and more laughter and more joy and more comfort and ease into your life. And I feel like that's what you're calling in here. So do know here, Sagittarius, if you've been going through a little bit of a rough waters with the Eight of Cups, know that you're loved. Know that you're supported, and you are calling in more balance, more reciprocity. There are people who want to help you. I hear that here. There are people who want to help you, but sometimes we resist, we reject, we don't always accept their help for whatever reason, pride, ego, wounded, whatever it may be here. But people want to help you, let them. All right, what's coming in? Strength. You're going to be tested. You're going to be tested here with some of your weaknesses, some of your shadows. You're going to be tested because the universe knows how damn strong you are. Okay, so this could be Maybe some red flags where you've decided to walk away from someone because it was difficult, and then they call you up and they say, but it's our anniversary, or because this is a vacation we always took, or I was just looking at some memories of us. And you may say, I was just starting to feel better about not connecting with you, and then boop, they reel you right back in, Sagittarius. And for those of you who've just been struggling lately and you feel like your partner, if you're in a relationship, hasn't been there for you, I feel like that's where that heart-to-heart conversation comes in, and you say, this is what I need. I need you to help me through this. I can't do this on my own. Yes, I am being vulnerable. I need to be vulnerable right now because it's going to break me if I'm not. And I feel like that is your greatest strength, is your vulnerability. And so many people look at that word itself, vulnerability. Oh, I can't be vulnerable, right? What is it? What's the worst that happens when we get vulnerable? That's why you're in the position that you are in, because you weren't possibly vulnerable. And some of you are saying, Melissa, I was vulnerable. I opened my heart, but someone broke it, and I known better. I get someone is judging themselves harshly because there were red flags. Maybe you had friends or family tell you, like, hey, Sag, you got to pay attention to that. Or Sagittarius, how are you feeling right now? And I feel like your defenses, your fight or flight, or that stubbornness, or maybe even that ego for you or another person got in the way, right? And this strength card is saying that, yeah, sometimes you feel like the baby cub. Sometimes you're immature at times in your emotions or in your thought process. We all are. It doesn't matter if we're, 9 years old or 99. We always can revert at times to a new beginning, learning something new. We're always constantly evolving and learning. And we don't have the answers, and it's okay. And sometimes we're that, lion here where we do have the wisdom, we do have that strength, we do have that experience, but we're going to oscillate sometimes between, all of these different stages of who we are, what we've learned, our conditioning. But the key here is to not succumb to the weaknesses, but know that you are protected, that you have that higher power. Look at those giraffes hovering above. They can see things that others can't. Those are your angels. Those are your guides. And I feel like you have this strength within you, and it's going to come out. It's going to come out, and you're going to be determined to move forward. This is about self-discipline. It's about being gentle with yourself, but also having that inner strength to do what you need to do in order to move past this Nine of Swords, this mental conflict. What's going on in your energy, Sag? King of Wands in reverse. Okay, King of Wands in reverse. I feel like, this could be you being a little bit hard to reach. Okay, and that makes sense if we're resisting some help. Maybe this is feeling a little bit inflexible, maybe trying to control things a little bit too much. It can at times even be a little bit of a bossy energy. No, I'm not calling you out on those things. Some of you could be dealing with another who is bringing out some of these triggers within you. Okay, but because this is in your energy, I feel like there is this piece of you that wants to be a wild rebel in a way. There's a part of you that wants to live more playfully. You want to have fun. Look at him. He has his shirt off. He has his beard in a rainbow and his hair is green, and there's people in the background, and he's standing up here in this convertible, and he's just living life. And there's a part of you that wants to have fun and be carefree and not worry about what other people think of him, and feel like he can go anywhere he wants and travel anywhere. There's a sense of liberation that I feel from your energy here, Sag. And this is you, of course, as well, fiery elements. And when you're in reverse right now, I just feel like you're not feeling at your best. And when you're at your best, you're adventurous and you're warm and you're passionate and you're active and you take charge of your destiny. And that is what you are shifting this month, is you're taking charge of your destiny and you're getting back on track with who you are on a core level. And you are fun. You are loving. You're exciting. You're playful. So pay attention to any red flags that show up within you, within others, within the energies that don't bring out this side of you. That tends to kind of keep you stuck, stagnant in your minds. Also, if you're dealing with anybody, which I don't necessarily, I mean, Six of Pentacles could be you dealing with someone as well, or this Four of Wands in the past. Although I like that there's strong, solid, stable cards here. But if you are dealing with someone who throws you off loop, just look at you. What can you do to find that happiness and that fun and that peace within? We do have Justice showing up here. Some of you could be going through a divorce, okay? Some of you are dealing with Libra energy here. Some of you, this is a karmic cycle you've gone through. This could be a legal situation or judgment put against you or another. Yeah, sometimes life isn't fair, but that's what karma is for, right? And this can also be the card of karma. And I feel like you're bringing more balance into your life here. And for some of you, you've tried and tried and tried. Maybe you've went to some sort of therapy yourself or together as a couple, or perhaps you've been manifesting a love into your life for quite some time and it just feels unfair because no matter how much you work on yourself, you're still in this position here of, excuse me, Nine of Swords. There's some justice and balance coming in. I like to see this in your environment. Excuse me. The hope and fear is to end a karmic cycle. Look at this. This literally is the recipe for karmic cycle. There's something that played out numerous times in your life, Sagittarius, because it was teaching you. And when we don't quite soak up the lessons or the opportunities from a relationship or from a situation, they tend to repeat, right? And some of you are saying, but Melissa, I learned it. Why am I still repeating it? Are you saying that you learned it, Sagittarius, because you just want it to be over? Or are there still some unprocessed feelings or healings or emotions or stagnancy or attachments that are still needing to be worked through in order to bring in balance? And I feel with this Wheel of Fortune showing up in the hopes and fears, I do feel like you've learned a lesson here. And that's why you are shedding tears. That's why you are ready to have this new beginning showing up here with this Nine of Swords. You're ready to kind of get out of your own way. Not calling you out here, Sag, but kind of calling you out. Sometimes we can self-sabotage. Sometimes we get in our own way here. But you're ready to get that wheel rolling. This is the wheel the wheel of fortune, the wheel of destiny. The Wheel of Fortune, Sag Pisces here, this is a turning point. So we don't have to repeat a cycle. And this is destiny and fate stepping in here saying, okay, you have had enough here. You've learned enough. This is what your soul came here to do, even if we don't want to recognize it as that at some points when we're going through the thick of it. But you have passed some sort of a test. I feel like there is going to be something that you're tested with. Are you going to fall back into this trap, this fear-based trap with the Nine of Swords, or are you going to wiggle out of it? And I feel like you're going to wiggle out of it. Sagittarius, your outcome is the Lovers. It is in reverse, so this is unrequited love, as well as trust, right? Destiny, it can be soulmate energy. Yeah, when you have the Wheel of Fortune and the Lovers, I mean, look at all these major arcanas here. This is destined love that may have come in. It may have been something that feels like it's unreachable, or maybe it was turned toxic here. It was a destined love connection where I feel like you are being guided to kind of separate yourself from, or you could be guided to separate yourself from an energy, from a behavior, from a thought that pushes you away from love. Okay, because maybe you really, really want this. I mean, who doesn't want the Lovers? It's beautiful energy around soul contracts, making balanced decisions and partnerships. Gemini energy here. It is about destiny, sex, and soulmates, right? This is about trusting yourself to know what you need to do to be able to feel in divine union, come together in divine union. So right now, maybe you don't feel like you are compatible with someone. energetically, or maybe there is that strong pull because there is a love between you and another. But I do feel like you are going to get to a place where you're out of the Nine of Swords. And I feel like you'll be more in the Ace of Swords, because there's something about truth coming in, truth and trust in your path and your journey, in your soulmate connections here on earth. And I feel like you will attract a level of love that does have more fun, more trustworthiness, right? More energy, more common interest, more excitement, and ultimately more love between you and another. And you can see she has a tattoo here on her. It's the Lover's card I see. Some of you could be in a same-sex union. For others of you, I feel like if you're feeling separated now, there is a coming together, and this isn't going to happen, I don't feel immediately in the month of February, but I'm getting June here as well. Let's get a timing card. Spirit, can you please tell me about when Sagittarius is going to feel like they're coming into union, even if you live with someone and it's felt a little bit challenging or difficult. King of Wands energy. Okay. Didn't we see? Yeah. King of Wands, King of Wands. I mean, this can be a Sagittarian, fiery energy. Sag, Leo, Aries. Okay, let's get another card here, because it could be during one of those seasons as well. And that's July, and that's kind of what I was getting here, June, July. Let's see, what else do we have here for timing, Spirit? Okay, Three of Coins. Wow, look at this. Lessons unlearned or building a new foundation. That's the energy here. Have we learned lessons? Because that's going to depend on the timing. And we do see timing showing up in the hopes and fears. So destiny intervening, because you may feel like you're still stuck at ground zero, or you're still stuck in a situation here. When the lesson is learned, you will build a new foundation. So for some of you, yes, it could happen in July. It could happen in August. It could happen March. It could happen April, or it could happen November. It could happen December. I mean, it's completely up to you. It's going to be different for each and every one of you. All right, let's get a message here from the wisdom of the Oracle. What do we have for Sagittarius, please, in matters of the heart? What do we have for TikTok? Okay, yeah, some of you, there's definitely an emphasis on divine timing here. And it may be a little bit difficult. Yep, a change in the wind and flexibility. So that makes complete sense here, because the TikTok in reverse is saying, okay, time is going crazy. It feels like timing is not on my side. At the same time, it feels all scattered, all convoluted here. You see that the time has gone crazy and the numbers are all wonky. But I feel like time is, some of you are saying, Melissa, time is of the essence. I want this family, and I now can't have that. Or time is of the essence. I thought I would have this by this age, or I've been waiting forever and I'm sick of waiting. There is something here with a frustration around time and it feeling like a scattered type of energy. But because this is showing up in the hopes and fears, be mindful of what we're trying to control in the time here, because Spirit's timing, divine timing, can be completely different than our egoic timing of when we want something, because that can turn to obsession. It can turn to need. It can turn to must. We don't want to manifest in that energy. Next, you have a change in the winds. There's definitely a change coming in here. I feel a change for the better, though. It's card 12. Some of you have been stuck. You've been in that hanged man energy, and that's why this is coming in for you, because you've gone through a spiritual awakening. There is some sort of enlightenment for you or the person you're dealing with. I feel like this is going to change everything, but there's still, again, timing at play. But the Eight of Cups is going on that spiritual quest, right? And it's not something that immediately you walk towards, but you start to make the decisions. You start to put in that work, as we talked earlier about. And then lastly, we do have flexibility. If you're feeling a little bit rigid, for those of you that have a stiff neck, if your neck has been hurting, or your shoulders, or just you're constantly feeling a little bit of pressure in even your head region, I feel, I mean, the neck is all about flexibility, and it can sometimes even represent a little bit of stubbornness. So pay attention to the neck here. Some of you may want to move the body. It's card 19, which is the sun in tarot. So it's about abundance. It's about, healthy ego. It's about being the center of the universe. But this is being flexible with how things show up in your world, but also knowing that you can manifest these things, but they're manifested in a time that's for your highest good. So even when you're starting to feel impatient, there's a lesson in that. Even when you feel like things are taking too darn long and you're like, Melissa, 5 years is just too long. 20 years is too long. It's just unreal. At this point, Spirit's not even listening to me. There's no divine guidance. I've blocked my intuition. I'm just so frustrated. I get that. We start to feel like the time of things is always off. And I feel because of not just the energies within us, but all around us globally, it feels like we are jumping timelines like crazy. And February is also a leap year as well. So there is going to be a lot of shifts happening in February, and it's important for you to stay flexible, because it may feel like one moment you are in 2050 and then it's going to feel like another moment you're back in 1995, right? So I feel like this is a month for you to be flexible when it comes to matters of the heart and when it comes to matters in general, because a lot of you, there's this rigidity, there's this energy of I need to just stay the way I am in this fight or flight, in this rigid pose, and watch for attackers or watch for the changes. But no, this is the month for you to be more flexible and to work towards, what it is that you truly want, because they're highlighting the make the effort here. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take, and be flexible along the way, because we don't, again, want to manifest from a place of rigidity, of fear, of control. That's manifesting in a place of ego. We want to manifest from a place of love. And that's why we have the Lovers as your outcome. That is what I have here, Sagittarius. I hope this was helpful. If so, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Lots of love.